Hello and welcome to Wildin Out. I am Marty B, and joining me tonight we have Dr. Fish. Fish, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are
Good to
you?
hear. I'm good. Good. And we also have Tom Carter. Tom, how are you doing?
Hello. I am doing quite well. How are you doing, Marty?
I'm doing pretty good. Took a week off, had some things going on, uh, some traveling and jet lag stuff. So thanks to everyone who was covering for me. Really appreciate it. But now I'm back. Happy to be here and have a lot to talk about. You guys want to get into it?
Let's go.
All right, Fish. What do we have for Player of the Week?
All right. So, this week's Player of the Week. Man, I guess we should just call this word Player of 2 weeks, as we are once again giving the Player of the Week to Tiger Eye, who he's done it again. He took a Game 5 victory over none other than Corbett, which ends Corbett's 16-week 16-week match undefeated streak, and gave the Rumble Touch Shakers a 14-13 win over F12 Viridian, which also ends that F12 Viridian's 12-week undefeated match streak, which includes the championship from last season. It makes a very good case for us all to craft some 3-2 golden commons. And we'd also like to give an honorable mention to King Ogre, who took a 3-2 win over Memnarch, ending one of the last undefeated records in Wild with his Cthulhu Druid. This also gave Team at Any Cost Wild a huge week over Hair Club, the defending runners-ups, catapulting them to a top position in the team standings. While it's clear they'll take their wins at any cost, they'll also take their wins in almost every seed. Thank you, Geranium Battle, for the write-ups.
All right, yeah, thanks for that, and thanks for reading that out, Fish. Next up, we have our meta overview. This won't be as relevant, but there still are some takeaways from it. Even with nerfs, the main thing is it seems like most of the meta had settled. Okay, the only real shift that we saw was in Druid. Cthulhu Druid saw a 60% increase from the week prior, and Landcracker more than doubled in population. We only saw 5 brings 2 weeks ago, but last week there were a total of 12 Landcracker Druids. So those decks were picking up a lot of steam towards the end of the meta before the nerfs came in. Hunter and Mage saw no changes. Paladin dropped very slightly in population. Priest saw one more deck than the previous week. Rogue dropped, but Pillager seems to still be the only real archetype. Shaman saw no changes. Warlock dropped, 7 fewer brings there. That's where Druid got most of its increases from. And finally, Warrior, still only Pyro Warrior, hovering around 20 brings. You guys have any comments on the meta, given how nerfs came about?
There's gonna be a big change next week. I'll say that. But I mean, this just goes to show how powerful, how much brought Odd Hunter is in this last week, and Ignite Mage and Waker Mage, pretty much making up majority lineups, bringing at least one of those decks, if not both.
Yeah, and early data suggesting those decks are pretty much dead and gone for the time being. So
Yeah.
it's a huge shakeup.
Yeah, and the other two decks, so besides Odd Hunter and Ignite Mage, was Free Shaman and Pirate Warrior.
Mhm.
Pirate Warrior saw a nerf, but I don't think it's that relevant. And we are going to see a lot of Free Shaman and a lot of Pirate Warrior in the upcoming weeks. And with that being said, man, I love seeing more like Cracker players. That is one of my favorite decks of all time. I think it was one of the first decks that I played when I switched to Wild, like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I love it. I just because there is nothing more beautiful, and this is something so toxic. I'm going to say something so toxic. There is nothing more beautiful than a deck that has a win condition that doesn't immediately wins the game. I mean, Talk Woggle
Yeah.
Druid, Linecracker Druid. It just that's one of the reasons that I was or I'm still am a Druid main. It's just beautiful. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry, that was really
No,
toxic.
that's fine.
Nope, not okay. Banned.
Oh man.
Not allowed on the show
Yep.
anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah. No. I believe the call. I'm sorry.
The win condition is simply not losing.
Pretty much.
It's as
Yeah, but
toxic as it is.
Gain 1,000 armor. That's the win con.
yeah, because it's not.
Holly Bob, howdy.
You don't win. You don't lose. It's
So
beautiful.
toxic.
Come
Anyways.
on.
Fine. I'm going to force you to talk about something else instead. Let's head back to the main screen and talk about some featured decks. This week we have 2 decks from a single person. Tom, since you've insisted on being so toxic and I want to clean your mouth a little bit, tell us about the first deck.
Oh no, the first deck. I hate Secret Mage. why are you making me talk about Secret Mage?
You did
Okay,
this to
so
yourself.
sure. You know what? Fine. So first deck we have it's Ataraxial. Hope that I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, that's probably how it's said.
Ataraxial.
Yeah.
I am going with Ataraxial. Ataraxial brought Secret Mage, but this is a different Secret Mage. It has a little of deck with Cold Neophyte and Pushman of Polymorph, Robes of Protection, Loatheb, and it has a top end that consists of Dawn Grabs, the Hero card, and Mask of Cthulhu. Multicaster for drawing extra cards. Given the secrets you cast from hand are actually for for 3 different schools. For example, Ron's is Fire, Ice Block is Frost, and Counterspell is Arcane. Going for the second deck. Do you guys have any comments on this Secret Mage before we move on?
I mean, this is quite a pile, I must say.
Yeah.
Decks go a long way if you hit your matchup. That's all I can really say.
Yeah.
You know, things like Robes of Protection and Pushing Polymorph, you're really leaning into disruption and protecting your minions there. And the Mask of Cthulhu and Master Dawn Grasp additions as well.
Yeah.
Right? Dawn Grasp gives you more secrets, including Ice Block, and also does 10 damage to the opponent's minions in face with Mask of Cthulhu after you play the first mask. So there's some spice in here. Pretty interesting. Certainly not your traditional secret mage, though.
No, for sure. Guys, you can always spam Tech W on the chat. Of course.
Oh yeah, for this next one.
Oh, for this next one, yeah. I'm ready.
Oh, because okay, so if you don't consider this one Tech W, oh boy, do we have something in store for you.
Please tell us about this next one.
All right. We got Ataraxial again. He came in as a sub for my team for Bash Bros last week, and he pulls out and it's the aggro pally shell with like Cobalt Monk, Robes of Protection, pretty much how this is how you attack against Hunter Mage essentially. Like you just play Monk and Robes, and it's like, oh, they can't target anything type of situation. But yeah, this deck did win. Ataraxial did win his match against Hazer last week. So for first match in THL, obviously strong player is in the top 30. At least what I saw last night, he was 25th on the ladder, so definitely a very strong player. And so this is an interesting deck for sure. There's some really good stuff. There's Rebuke. There's
Can we talk about the quad post in here?
yeah. There's 4 posts. There's 4 posts for sure. So much tech.
So you play Iron Deep
yeah.
Trog,
Yeah.
followed up with Crossroads Watch Posts, and you just make more Trogs and buff them up over and over.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, Waker
Oh,
Mage will never get
God.
through. Like, you thought just 1/2s were bad? How do you beat a Crossroads Watch Post with that? It's insane.
There was a lot of tech. There was tech scattered throughout. There's a lot of tech scattered throughout Ataraxial's lineup that was targeted at different cards. You can see that all on the. I mean, if you want to check last week's, they're available. But
oh god,
he brought a lot of Hunter and Mage tech, and then then Hazer proceeded to, I think, bring neither of them. So and the fact that he still won the match is quite crazy. Like,
he brought Frog Shaman.
Hazer brought Reno Druid and Frog Shaman. Like,
Brage that Reno Druid. Come on.
Yeah. Yes, probably swept Frog Shaman. I don't know for sure. I have been going back through the logs to see what happened, but there's so much stuff in his chat because he's really been active, coming in as now a full-time player for the team.
Nice.
So yeah, obviously, big ups to win with both of these decks.
Yeah, but when you look at these decks, and given this player is actually a really good player, we've seen worse, and you know it. Like, we've seen some wacky decks. I brought some really, really weird things.
I brought Bomb Warrior I brought Bomb Warrior 2 seasons ago to target Reno decks.
I made a full Mechathon lineup just for giggles.
Oh, I know, that was great. I casted that match.
Yes.
Anyways,
if these are the decks that Ataraxial is going to bring, I am looking forward to seeing what other spice they have in store.
Yeah, I don't. We'll see. We'll see next week. We'll see this week what we have.
We are going to have so much fun with these decks
for sure.
Well, with that,
cool.
let's move to the match recaps. Sure. So this week we're doing things a little differently because nerfs came on Tuesday and submissions were delayed by a day. We can't really do previews, and so we'll be covering more matchups instead. Twice as many, actually. So 4 matchups to recap. But before we do that, I want to take a look at the standings. So at the top, you got F2 Viridian hanging on, just 1 point ahead of second place after taking a loss, their first loss this season. And everyone's winner is right behind them, 4-0-1, 86 points. Then we have a 6-point gap to third, but the fight for third place is very tight as well. Rummeltusk Shakers at 80 points, At Any Cost Wild at 79, Tagger Fans just 2 points below fourth at 77, and Bash Bros at 76 points in sixth. And that's the cutoff right now. After that, we have Hair Club, the runners-up in the finals last season, actually fighting on the bubble.
Yeah, they had some
just outside the bubble right now.
They had some rough last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they've been playing some really tough opponents. 15.05 points.
Definitely.
For the average opponent strength, it's very difficult. They've likely gotten through one of the hardest parts of their schedule so far, and so things will ease up, and hopefully they can make ground as a result.
Agreed.
After that, we have South Sea Legends with Aussie Pilgrimains right below them, and the Pog Merchants, 30 Wordies, Poggy Woggies 2, and Wild THL Fanatics. So, pretty close race. Closer than recent times, I'd say. There's some very small gaps.
It's nice seeing the... I mean, it is nice for me, maybe because I'm in one of the teams, but it's nice seeing that uh, F12 Viridian and Everyone's a Winner are still like powerhouses. But Rumblestone's Shaker is gaining the upper hand. They are getting really close, and as we can see, um, scores are going in given the average opponent strength. Maybe we could see a shakeup, which is really,
Yeah.
really interesting.
Well, I do want to point out, Team At Any Cost Wild is brand new. They just came onto the scene this season, and they're in fourth place. In third place last week, dropped a little bit, but still in a very good spot, even after having the second hardest schedule so far. So very impressive by them. And if they can keep it up, they're going to go far too. So good to see.
Who's on the team? Because I don't
I
remember.
believe OTZ, Swagwar, Duocat and company.
Ogre.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Ogre,
Yes.
Ogre OTZ, Swagwar, Duocat, and else who I'm blanking on.
Yeah. So some really good players.
Oh, no, that's not.
Yes, Pokeniner.
Pokeniner, that's right.
Oh, Poke
Yes.
Niner.
Hyperin, we can't read. We know it's in front of us, but we can't read. Okay, we're wild players. Can barely even count.
I
Do you know
wasn't.
how hard it is to play the file?
looking at. I wasn't looking at the screen. To be fair.
No. It's okay. It's okay. We're wild players. We're all stupid.
Yeah, no.
We don't even know how to tie our shoes. There's a reason why we picked
Oh
Poke
my
Pro.
gosh.
Okay. We all know the only person that can count in wild is Tiger Eye, and that's because he plays the file. It's a little mean, but it checks out.
Yeah, it does.
I am, jokes aside, I am surprised we haven't seen Tiger Eye adding spammy Arcanist to any other deck that is not a Warlock, given his love for.
He says he's considered it.
You know
So,
what?
I mean that's
Excellent.
definitely a Tiger Eye thing for sure.
Yeah,
But,
I
Excellent.
thought he put in like his Ignite Major Odd Hunter at some point this season.
Gotcha.
But alas, sticks are gone now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see. Well, on to the first matchup.
Yeah.
We have Team At Any Cost Wild versus South Sea Legends. We were just talking about this team.
Yeah.
Peach, tell us about them.
All right. So, coming off of a close match loss, South Sea Legends came into this and have taken the win. Hyperin, I believe got a 3-0 pretty early on in the week. Otizacia got a 3-0 over Nincity. Swagwar taking a 3-2 over No Way. But then South Sea Legends taking the bottom two. Sinferno sweeping Duocat, and Blue Thingies getting a 3-2 narrow victory over Pokeniner. So good win for South Sea Legends, getting themselves closer up towards the pack. But we'll need to keep it up.
Hyperin, you were on South Sea Legends. Did Pokeniner win with Hero Power Mage or OTZ? Do you know?
Yeah, did
Nitty is. Hello. Yeah, do you guys know if Blue Thingies lost to Hero Power Mage?
Yeah, because that adds another noob.
This is very important.
Noob lost to Hero. All right, Triple Lift is also here. Hello. Don't.
Shame.
So,
all right,
so chat,
All
so
right,
chat
so
is
we'll get the check. We
bad
might have
players.
another person who's lost to Hero Power Mage.
Well, in the meantime, let's move on to the next matchup while Hyperin digs that up.
Sure.
We have F2 Viridian versus Rumble Tusk Shakers. This is another set of teams that we spoke about. Orb, as we said before, lost to Tiger Eye. His first loss in 16 matches.
That's crazy.
This spans multiple seasons. Okay. Absolutely insane. It took a hard counter lineup and still barely got there.
Mm-hmm.
Meowth, though, stays undefeated 5-0 with the 3-2 win over Rice Bowl. I lost the EPT Hopper. He went for the hard mage counter. I almost got there, but Mage had to win one final game against Pyro Warrior, and once my ice block was popped and a bomb was shuffled in my deck, there was pretty much no chance.
Oh
So
man.
good on them. Rotted lost 1-3 to Seth, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. And Neji took a 3-0 sweep over our featured match
Oh, blue
from
thingies.
last week.
Blue
Player.
thingies did indeed lose to Hero Power Mage. Because it was Free
Amazing.
Shaman versus Secret Hunter in the final game.
Amazing. We have another
win for Hero Power Mage on the season.
Yeah, another win for Hero Power Mage.
Now that
broken.
Ignite is dead, now everyone is going to bring Hero Power Mage. Rage.
Yeah.
Rage.
The new meta counter. Insane.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see odd Hero Power Mage one of these weeks, not just Hero Power Mage.
Yeah. So before we move on to the next matchup, do you guys have any more comments to this one?
Nah,
amazing.
Super close match for sure. I like that Neji did get his sweep back to being maybe they'll bring it back to being 3-0 specialist. But yeah, it's a lot of interesting things, a lot of counter lineups coming from Rumble Tusk Shakers. It looks like trying to target the mage. And I don't know if Rice Bowl went for a counter lineup or not, but it looks like Hopper and Tiger Eye did. So all good.
Rumble Tusk Shakers are a powerhouse. They have some really, really good players, as we can see with Tiger Eye getting Player of the Week twice in a row.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is amazing. This is again, Corv. I'm sorry, but taking down the best player on the whole DHL Wild after 16 weeks, like Tiger Eye deserves the spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, on to the next then.
For sure.
Okay, next one. We have Hair Club against Puck Merchants. Hair Club with 70 points, Puck Merchants with 64. On the first seed, we have Magnarch against Rin, with Magnarch taking the win 3-1. Then we have Others against Mortal Wombat, with Mortal Wombat taking the win 3-1. Then we have Pace against Concerned Mom, third seed. Pace taking the win 3-1. I'm seeing a lot of 3-1s. Then we have White Delight against Scallybrine, fourth seed. White Delight with, I think, the third Demon Hunter bring. He really loves Demon Hunter. Why? I don't know. He got a sweep, 3-0. And finally, we have Burned against Charip, with Charip taking the win, 3-2, which makes the Puck Merchants win by 1 point, 13-12, for a really close series again.
Yeah, these last two matchups we've been covering have been really close, 1 point off.
Yeah.
Really shows the parity in this season right now.
Yeah, and the teams that won were the ones with less points. So we are actually seeing a really interesting shakeup.
And Cherub was the clinching match, says Pace in the chat. So congrats to my friend Cherub on getting your first wild win of the season.
Yeah, it's actually insane how close it was to come down to a 3-2 match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Pretty crazy to see, and this is probably huge. Free Shaman Mirror. This game 5, if I recall correctly.
Oh,
Thanks, White Delight.
no.
So, just based off of what I know from that matchup, that means Charup drew either hit the Bright Rats first, or he drew Grumble first, and that decided the matchup.
Something like that. We'd have to see the replay, obviously. But
Oh,
your assumptions are probably pretty on point.
So if you don't know, guys, NHL really hates the Free Shaman Mirror.
Yeah, it's terrible.
What gave that away?
Oh yeah, I don't know how you get that away.
Yeah, I played
Yeah,
a
no, no.
free shaman mirror to finish in one of my matches this season. It was, oh gosh,
So guys,
it
if you
came,
wanna,
yeah, it just came down to I got
How
more
do you know?
freezes.
Oh,
so
how do you know
if you
this
wanna
is the?
tilt, if you wanna tilt Marty, you just need to bring free shaman because he's obviously going to bring free shaman. Remember?
Please see. One of us can just ban it, and then
Yeah,
it won't
it's
happen.
just a
So
ban.
it's not so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, but then it's an obvious ban, and you can bring another powerhouse of a deck. Smart.
Fun fact: my opponent this week brought Shaman, and I didn't ban it.
Oh yeah,
They banned it for me.
Mhm.
And you lost.
Did I though? Tom, you can
Wait.
check after the stream.
Oh no, I'm looking
Moving
at the I'm
on.
looking at the other table with EPT Hopper. Oh, so dumb.
It's okay. We're wild players here. We're still learning to tie our shoes.
Yeah, no, it's this whole show notes thing is like really confusing sometimes.
It's fine. Let's move on to the next matchup then.
Yeah, moving on. We have Dagger fans, not Tiger. Sorry. Dagger fans against Wild THL Fanatics. With Dagger fans taking the win 14-10. I think Wild THL Fanatics are still yet to win a Wild THL match. We have Nobs in the first seed against Bitbeaker. Bitbeaker?
Bitbeaker, yeah.
Bitbeaker with Nobs taking the win 3-1. Second seed, we have Triple Lift against Labor Sangre with Triple Lift taking the win 3-1. Then we have a swept by Lasagna against Kyre with obviously a 3-0. And finally, we have a reverse where Shmoopy Daddy lost 1-3 against Lad and Kyre lost 1-3 against Gombi. But even then, Tiger fans wins the series 14-10.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like there's not a ton really to take away here. Lots of Druid from Tagger fans.
Mhm.
That's the big
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, lots of priests too, which
Not-
are not really that popular nowadays.
No, so quite the
Mhm.
way to end the meta, or
Yeah.
to cap off that meta, really.
Mhm. And there was a Reno Handbuff Paladin in one of those lineups. I do know that.
Yes, there was.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it was Shmoopy Daddy. Let me check.
Nah, it was Knobs.
Oh, Knobs.
Knobs brought
No,
it.
there was also a.
There is also another Demon Hunter. Man, it's so wacky
Yeah.
for me that Demon Hunter is purple in these
Oh,
tables.
Bitbeak. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if that was part. That might have been the Reno Demon Hunter again. I don't know.
Wow.
I can double check, actually.
It'd be in the notes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because he brought he. I don't know if that's the exact same lineup, but it could have just been a rollover.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Not
but
sure, but
yeah,
anyways.
it was Reno Demon Hunter.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
So yeah, this seems like a solid win for Tiger fans. They started out rough, and I think they started 0-2, and now they're 3-2. So they're definitely picking it up, and they're not to be messed with. Knops Lasagna Triple Lift. Shmoopy already has a win this week. In Canberra, so Tiger fans has already started off their week quite strong for this
Wait.
one.
This is completely unrelated, but I'm looking at the table. Is Shmoopy Daddy's name wrong?
It's
no, that's how they submitted it.
Yeah, I think they misspelled it when they I don't know. They might have just made it shorter for the TH. I don't know, honestly.
That's weird.
They asked for it to be spelled that way.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know that's not usually their Twitch handle, so
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if Shmoopy has a different letter, but the thing that is remarkable about his name is the daddy part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it happened to me that in one series I have a space between my names, like Tom Space Carter, and in the other series I was like Tom Carter, like a whole thing.
Yeah, that happens.
And it was so confusing for like 3 seconds. Yeah. I was like, I miss my space. Give it back. Okay. Moving
Yeah.
on, we have some people favorite part, which is the PPR, which is basically a circle shirt to see who's the best player.
So
NHL, take it away.
there isn't.
You can't give it away like that.
No,
Come
no,
on,
no.
it's not circle
There
shirt.
is no rigged in this time. There is no rigged, unlike on Hearth Center. Well, besides Pro isn't rigged. That's the regular. The other series are quite rigged sometimes.
Yeah. So
We just kid, but
I want to talk about some stuff before we get into the actual numbers.
sure.
This season, we're doing things a little bit different for our win-rated series. So
Mhm.
Pro and Wild. Okay. Usually before, if you had 2 more wins than losses in the first 4 weeks, so you went 3-1 or better, then all 4 of those weeks you would be considered a significant player,
Mhm.
and you would stay a significant player. Okay, for those first 4 weeks. Now we have this thing called dynamic significance, where you are only considered a significant player if your overall record has 2 more wins than losses.
Mhm.
So if you do worse later in the season, you will no longer be a significant player, and this will dramatically shift power rankings and player ratings. So keep this in mind when we go over things.
Yeah.
So with that, Vish, you want to give us the honorable mentions?
Sure. So for the honorable mentions, I'll start at the bottom. We have Mortal Wombat, formerly known as an awful artist. He's 3-1 with a 9 PAR, followed by Lasagna at 3-2 with an 11 PAR. Seth at 3-2 and also an 11 PAR, followed by myself, Dr. Fish, at 4-1 with a 12 PAR. And wow, first time seeing Corbett not in the first time seeing Corb not in the top 10. He's an honorable mention at 4-1 and 13 PAR.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. The opponent's Corp was facing did not keep their significant player rating. So Corp loses a ton of significant points and drops
Yeah.
in PAR.
Mm-hmm. And
So with that said,
I just got swept by Jordan. So he
yeah,
gets a lot of
with that,
that from me.
yeah.
I love
So
I love seeing an awful artist being featured.
Yeah.
He did quite the. He reminds me of myself. He came in doubting himself about his place or whatever, and now he became such a good player in ladder and in THL. So
Yeah.
for my ex teammate, I am proud of you.
now with that,
Congratulations.
let's take a look at the top 10 at the bottom. Nops 4-1, 14 PAR. Nops also dropped a little bit because of the significant points again.
Yeah.
So even winning might not be enough, but just keep winning and it'll all correct at the end of the season. At number 9, we have Tiger Eye, also 4-1. Most players here are 4-1. Python at 8, Swag RTV at 7. Both of them tied with Tiger Eye at 15 PAR. Number 6, we have Memnarch at 5 is OTZ. Then number 4 is Battle Tagger. All of these players have 16 PAR.
Mhm.
Then number 3, we have Hyperin. Big jump up to 17 PAR. Then Jordan, the biggest jump of the week, all the way up to 20 PAR now. And then finally, at the top, 5-0, it's Get Me Out, 20 points above replacement. So,
Wow.
big
Mhm.
shakeup. And we're probably going to continue to see these shakeups as the season goes on due to the dynamics of significant players. Okay, something to keep in mind as the season goes on. These are not set in stone. Unlike previous seasons where things were a bit more front loaded because of the way they were set up, this will change a lot. And if you really do keep winning and beating a lot of strong players, then you too will see yourself climbing a bunch. So, first place is far from decided at this point of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, let us know what you think of the way the system is now. if you feel it's more accurate, more fair, or if you want to see it go back to the way it was before. If you preferred it that way, where we had a big shift and things kind of just slightly adjusted from there. So,
Alright.
No, I think this is more real. Um, Maybe I'm a little bit based because of Jordan being my teammate, but he's performing so well, and this shows the credit he deserves, the effort he's putting on. So I think this is better. We are also seeing uh, that even if you made it big later, Corvette not being in the top 10 also shows
Yeah.
how the whole thing is shaking up, and I think this is way better. Maybe not as accurate depending on your point of view, but it makes it way enjoyable to look at least
yeah.
for me.
So,
No, I
oh,
like
we'll
the
see.
system. I like it. Even it is like I kind of expected to get dropped a lot because I didn't get a match. I didn't win a single match, a single game out of the match. So I expected to kind of drop. And it kind of shows like yeah. Um, it's I think by the end of the season it'll be where it's supposed to be because we're counting significance of winnings. Like players like myself who are currently one seeds are going to be playing, the top other players on the list, and most of the time we're going to be almost facing somebody who's in the top 10. So you're going to get to see you'll see changes up and down. P PAR is the acronym is points above replacement. I'm sure NHL could um go into that if you wanted to ask privately or whatever about the way it's actually calculated.
Yeah. So, Nops, I can actually explain this. This is all public. We
Oh,
have it
okay.
in the help/question/feedback. I actually asked myself in there to figure it out. Um, Let me pull up the exact equation. It's like a little bit complicated when you first go through it. So
Mm-hmm.
you take your match wins, okay, double that. So it's match wins times two plus hold on, plus the net games. So wins minus losses plus the number of significant points that you get. And minus the number of DQ losses you have times six. So match wins plus net game wins plus significant points times, or however many significant points you have times two minus six times the number of DQ losses you have. To calculate significant points, you get one significant point if you beat a significant player,
Mm-hmm.
two if you sweep them.
Yeah, that okay. That makes sense. That's why Jordan is so high because he got 2 extra points.
Correct.
Yeah.
And to determine if you're playing against a significant player, if that player has at least two more match wins than losses, then they're considered a significant player.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. So like everybody in the top 10 is considered significant player plus Corbett and myself and actually Mortal Wombat as well with 3-1. So that's it's because obviously two more wins than losses.
So you guys thought we were dropping darts at a table and deciding the PPR randomly? No, we have an equation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're Donde, then you just pay Donde and he shifts things. But that's also
Dang.
public information.
Do we have a link to his PayPal down below?
I believe he has it in his Discord profile, so you can just get it there.
Anyways, for sure.
So yeah, Memnarch, just to answer any significant players, if you guys want to figure out who's a significant player, I guess you can just look at the match record here, and you'll get it. So most of these guys, the top 12 actually are all considered significant players. as well as Mortal Wombat since he's 3-1. So, also, to be a significant player, you have to have at least 4 games played.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I should have added that. Yes.
Okay.
So, there you have it.
Cool.
Nice.
So, let's head back to the main screen now. We don't have any match previews given the meta shakeup with nerfs.
Mhm.
And now we have our question of the week. So last week we covered some nerf predictions and how things would shake up, but we haven't focused on teams for a while. So I wanted to do that with this question, which is who is your midseason favorite for the championship? And to make this a little bit more fun and interesting, you can't pick your own team.
Mhm.
Who do you have?
Okay, I thought the question meant player, not team. So now I'm thinking because I was going to pick Jordan, but he's on my team, so
Oh yeah,
I guess not.
it's just the favorite is the team you favor to win the championship. Yeah.
Who's going to win the championship? I think the Puck Merchants are going to climb the table really, really high.
Do it.
But if I had to pick one team, probably Rumble Tuck Shaker. I think that team has something under the, how do you say, an ace behind the, what is the phrase?
Ace up their sleeve?
Ace up their sleeve.
Yeah, that thing. I don't.
Yeah.
Idioms are like, the difficulty of idioms are beyond comprehension when you speak two languages. Like,
Rubba. Well, Tom, all I have to say is rub-a-dub-dub. 3 trolls in a tub, and both of them golden for me.
who's going to lose that bet? Oh boy.
Vish, who do you have?
They're a bit down in points now, but I believe in Hair Club.
Think Hair Club pulls through? They have had a difficult schedule.
I think like the schedule has been difficult, and yes, this is partially me trying to make up for my nickname in Burnt Cord, but I actually I looked at the teams. Yeah. I mean, they're still a really strong team. Like Memnarch, Otters, White Delight, Burnt, and Mom are all just very good players. They almost got there last year. I wouldn't be surprised if they just go on a run again, and they can definitely get there once they make playoffs. They know how to win, for sure.
Let's see if they remember how to win.
Yeah.
Notes aside, I hate my nickname on Burnt Cord.
Yeah, I got.
You don't pick it. You. By the way, you don't pick it. It is given to you.
It is given to you.
You can change it, but it's better if you keep it. I hate mine. You guys are mean. You're making fun because.
Sorry.
I think the word is toxic.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so my nickname.
Oh well.
Okay.
My nickname is Tom.
Hold on.
Ignite Cutter.
Hold on. Let's get back on track.
Yeah.
Real quick. Yeah.
I am not an Ignite enjoyer.
This is getting a little too deep for most people here.
Yeah, this is something that a lot of people won't understand. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's all good.
I know.
So, God, now I have to pick someone. Man,
I mean,
let's give it to. Man, I was gonna give it to South Sea Legends, but now Hyperin just said just made a copy pasta out of it. Had the hardest schedule by a significant margin, so clearly will be number 1 by the end. You just jinxed yourself, and now I can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are you happy now? So I kind of go with someone else. And Rumble Tusk was already picked. So let's go
Yeah.
with the underdog here with Team at Any Cost Wild. Okay.
Good choice.
This will make OTZ cope harder. But I think it's a solid pick. No one really paid attention to them at the start.
Yeah.
There were some spooky names from high Wild Legend ladder on the team, and now they're 3-1-1 with the second hardest schedule in the series, and doing very well for themselves. And things are only going to get easier from this point out, and they'll really have a chance to rack up more points and solidify their playoff spot. And from there, who knows? It could go far. So there you have it.
Nice.
Our
I think
mid-season
that
predictions.
we all picked a really good teams. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of
I can see any of the ones that we pick actually doing like either a comeback or just keep winning more and more and more points, and the other teams getting left behind. Um, because this season in THL we have some amazing players spread across all teams, and even those that don't rank really high within the ladder know how to play competitive in THL, know how to read lineups. So we have some people that you're like, oh, I don't expect this player to be like really good because he's on the dumpster in Legend. It doesn't matter. They are destroying THL, which is something that I really love.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about the Hero series having high levels of parity, but I gotta say this is probably one of the highest levels of parity in Wild in a long time, and there's more parity here than there is in most series right now. More than Hero, in fact. Hero has a massive point gap, and it's actually smaller in Wild right now. Looking
Yeah.
at the
I
other
think that's
series as well.
because Wild, in the Wild, the meta doesn't change, but the teams do. So we keep shifting around players, and now everything is like almost in the same level, right? Uh,
Not
which
exactly,
is
because we have teams that have stuck together for a while. F2O has been the same team for what, 4 seasons now,
4 seasons. Hair Club's been the
yeah,
and
same. Hair Club's
we're
been
still
the
but
same
seeing
for
people,
new teams.
3 or 4
yeah,
seasons for Hair Club.
but you have. I remember last time you had at this point like 10 or 15 point difference, and now uh, many teams are within reach,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
and
reference,
it's really gross.
the gap between first and last in all 4 series right now is smallest in Wild. So arguably,
Mm-hmm.
this series does have the highest parity, or the greatest level of parity, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
of all series, which you couldn't say in the past.
No.
So it's
So
exciting
yeah,
to see.
say bye to your championship, buddy.
Huh, good one. You're funny.
Of
I am. Thank
yeah.
you very much.
Well,
So I wanted to make a mention. This is this is wild related, maybe not so DHL related. But I know many of you guys are aware. Keith Numbers is retiring from streaming. Um, he used to play for Hell Club. He's still
Yeah.
a sub for them. He's not quitting Hearthstone, but he's quitting streaming. Uh, so I think that's a big L for that. Losing someone that actually, I don't know. Maybe my team is going to hate me for saying this, but I many times brought back decks into THL just to justify giving him those codes for Beaver decks. Because I could pay him like, oh yeah, I won with this lineup, you know. Uh, so maybe now I need to bring good decks. I don't know. Um, but yeah,
it'll be fine.
if you have any comments about Keith's retirement, uh, he's 100% going to be missed. Um, So yeah,
Yeah. Thanks, Tom. I'm sure
I know
Keith would
I know
appreciate
you
that.
I know you work with him. So hopefully, he can still produce quality content with Tempo Meta Snapshot, and yeah, he's still around. He's not dead, because some people were like, "Oh, okay, cool. He's
No.
living forever." No, don't be so dramatic. But yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for that, Tom. With that, any other final words, Fish?
Um, I have only four things to say.
Only four.
F2L broke.
that's too many.
Hair Club woke. Everyone's a winner choke. And Rumble Tusk joke. That is all.
Right. And then, well, before we
What?
go, you
Yeah.
did say we had matches in a few hours, correct?
Yeah. So Thursday Throwdown will be back at 10 p.m. Eastern. We have a match between KSW and the Big Ted in Hero Series. So tune in for that. I'll be opping it, and we'll have our casters. It'll be a fun time. Just one match tonight. And also don't forget, submit your list for Wild tonight. Submit your classes for the other series. And lists for Pro as well. Do not want to roll over in a post nerf meta.
I
Definitely don't
mean,
do that.
you can do it for the Omega bait, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
an awful idea.
Yeah,
Would not recommend.
rolling over Odd Hunter, but you have to play 2 mana wildfire or 2 mana rapid fire. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. I was I was thinking more about the series that are classes and not decks. Yeah, don't roll over, guys. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's running Baku without the upgraded hero power is usually
That's a bro
not
moment.
optimal.
Wait, I don't know about this interaction, but if you have double rapid fire in your opening, does Paco still activate?
No, does not
I
activate.
th- oh, I thought I'd only read the deck.
I don't know.
No,
I don't
no.
know.
Yeah, people did
Gen
do
does
that with
wacky
conviction when it
things
was
with.
nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So, Tom, the way it works is before the mulligan, it reads your deck, or it includes the cards in your mulligan. Sorry. So it includes the
Yeah.
cards in your mulligan, checks those for odd or even costs, and then determines your hero power change from there. That's why when Aggro Demon Hunter was a thing with 0 mana I Beam, and the I Beam was outcasted, so far left or far right, then
It didn't work.
Baku wouldn't activate because you had a 0 cost card.
Huh. Because I know Gen does wacky things. We all know Gen doesn't work with quests.
It's the same
But
concept.
yeah, but Gen does really weird things with Cthulhu because it sometimes work.
Yeah, because it reads 10 mana Cthulhu. That's why. And
Yeah, but it is not consistent.
yeah, because it goes. So the way it works, it's really weird. It depends on where the cards are shuffled in your deck. If Cthulhu is shuffled above the Gen, then the Cthulhu goes off first, and then Gen doesn't activate. But if Cthulhu is below, then Gen activates first, and then Cthulhu goes. So technically, you could also have Baku work with Cthulhu if Cthulhu goes off in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so inconsistent. Someone should bring it to THL.
Basically, the optimal way is similar to Seed Glare, as Memnarch proved. You run both Baku and Gen to guarantee the effect.
Yeah.
It's foolproof. So
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Into dodge rats.
yeah. So enough of us talking and chatting about a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week. Once again, don't forget to submit and make sure to stop by in a few hours for Thursday Throwdown. And until then, we're gonna raid the #1 PAR player this week. in Get Me Out. So stick around for that.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody.